You know him from Chicago PD. Welcome, LaRoyce Hawkins, to the KJ Today Show. Hello, LaRoyce.
Hey, how we doing?
Oh, I'm excited to be talking to you. Just so you know, the KJ Today Show. We're here in Indianapolis, so we love Chicago. It's not far from us, and I actually have some fans listening now that are going to a convention you're going to be at, so they can meet you. So there's a lot of excitement about having you on the show today and having Chicago PD returning for new episodes. Let's start with that. How excited are you to get the new season going?
Come on, I can't wait. We did this episode with a lot of love. Well, we put a lot of hard work into it from the whole entire crew to everybody who guest starred and obviously the cast. It was a great team effort. So I'm just excited for everybody to see tonight's episode. And I'm excited to be talking to Indianapolis. I was just out there for All-Star weekend.
I was wondering because I know you are a basketball player that you had to make that choice at one point in your life about which passion you were going to follow. So you were here. How was your weekend with the NBA All Star?
It was a great weekend. It was a great weekend. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Sitting courtside at All-Star games with Voight is, I'm not sure if it gets any better than that. The way the arena cleared out for Voight was crazy. It was just dope for me to watch. Some of my favorite rappers look up to
Yes.
Voight and walk up to Voight, and we're kind of like fangirling over Sarge, which I thought was amazing.
I always love to find out what you have so many people that as you said fangirl fan out about you, and especially with the the character that you have built with Officer Atwater. What is it, who are those people that you fan out about? Who are those people that make you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to meet this person?
Man, the first time it happened to me was honestly in the audition for Chicago Fire. I was called back for the role of Otis. And the brother who was also called back for the role was the brother that played Paul Williams in the Temptations movie.
Ooh.
I know his first name is Christian, but I don't know his last name because I fanned out so hard and cut him off in the middle of his introduction.
Oh
In
no.
the
And you
middle,
guys were there for the same role?
we were there for the same role, and and in the middle of his introduction, as he was telling me his name, I cut him off and I told him, no, sir, you are Paul Williams to me, and I proceeded to start saying lines from the movie. I started singing songs from his character, and I had a real moment, and I had to go in the bathroom. I had to say a prayer and do some push-ups, and I had to get myself together
Oh, thanks for sharing that
because we
with
were
us.
we were auditioning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's obviously for stories that raised me, right? That were like big parts of my development. And the Temptations movie obviously um, was exactly that.
Sure. Let's talk for a second about, the fact that you are on Chicago PD and that's your hometown. How meaningful is it for you to, be on an actor that is featuring the city that you grew up and really connecting with people? There's such an emotional connection to these shows.
hmm No, I think it's extremely special. I'm able to. I grew up watching the '96 Bulls. And if I was ever able to like see Dennis Rodman on the street or Scottie Pippen even running to Jordan, um, any of the players, Jason Caffey, Randy Brown, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's how I feel. That's how I feel like Chicago PD has grown. We're a part of the texture of the city at this point, just like any of the sports teams that we fan out about, the Bulls, the Bears, the Sox. I'll say the Cubs because I have to, but I'm obviously not a fan. Um,
That-
but no,
That's all right. My husband is
so
a
from
Sox fan, so he'll appreciate that.
right. Well, you made it. You made a good decision with your husband. I appreciate you. But but no, I said all that to say like to be a part of the fabric of the city at this point. I think is like one of my favorite parts. And so when Chicago PD is in season, when we're filming, we get a lot of fans that come out and they love to watch. Um, when we're on screen, it's dope to walk into grocery stores and you might get a bottle of wine for free because they can't wait to watch you tonight. Um, and so, those are the types of things that I thoroughly appreciate about being a part of Chicago's history.
Well, and one of the other things that I wanted to touch on because our show here, the KJ Today show, we are all about, every day focused on bringing some positive vibes to the community, making someone smile when they're having, maybe a rough day and that's the only laugh they get all day. Just doing something to make some sort of impact every day. And so I wanted to touch on the fact that you not only are you bringing your heart to your character on Chicago PD, but let's talk about some of the charitable work that you do because you are trying to make a difference not just on screen but in the community in Chicago.
Yeah. That was. I appreciate you saying that. That's a part of me that was instilled really just by my family. My grandfather was the biggest example. Rapper John. Um, he was a radical in the movement, right? He was a part of the fabric of the civil rights. He shares with me all these great stories about how he would like leave my grandma's house with my mom and my uncle and hop on a bus to Alabama or Mississippi or Arkansas. Um, just because he understood how important the movement was at the time, and grateful. I'm grateful for that history because it instills the same type of tenacity in me when it comes to my hometown, when it comes to my neighborhood, when it comes to fighting for what's right. Um, and I think that those elements are also in Atwater, right? Like I was able to instill
Mhm.
those elements into this character, which which just makes for compelling storytelling, but also people we can heal for some things and start a conversation that surround issues that we avoid. And the more we avoid those issues, the less we're actually able to handle them. And so I'm grateful that Chicago PD is a show and that Atwater is a character that can really be the catalyst for those conversations most of the time.
And we're talking about, the seriousness and the issues that you are able to bring to light. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about Chicago PD, because obviously, there have been a lot of shows that are set in police departments, but this show in particular, it really feels like, and you hit on it right in the beginning about the episode tonight. It feels like everyone there's an energy that goes into the show that the heart of the show comes out, and is that how you feel on the set, that this is a group of people that are doing more than just making a show, they're making a difference?
Hmm. No, absolutely. I think Dick Wolf has a knack for just putting the right people together. Um, the way we synergize around these stories is amazing. The personal conversations that we're able to have off screen that grow us, and we're able to use these characters tell the stories that we want to hear as well. Um, that's something that I'm not sure. I'm not sure how often that happens. I think we have special shows that speak to us in different ways. Like I think This Is Us was a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm grateful to know that Chicago PD can feel like that for some people. Um, but yeah, it's like these are real issues that affect us. But Chicago PD is a show about Chicago through the lens of a very very special group of cops that are doing their best to not just solve crimes but save lives.
Now, I want to switch over a little bit to something a little more lighthearted. Rhonda, who is listening, she's a huge fan. She's actually excited to meet you in September at the convention up in Chicago. I know there've been a lot of fan conventions around the Chicago shows now. Wanted to know because you are also a comedian. What is it like on set for you? Are those moments that you guys are cracking up and having fun as well?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, hey Rhonda, can't wait to see you in September. Um, it's I think it's extremely ironic that a comedian like myself found themselves on probably one of the darkest network shows on prime time. But I think because of the comedic timing that I was, that I grew up on, I'm able to find a good rhythm on this show. Everybody, to be honest with you, is extremely hilarious. I will start with Voight. Burgess has a physical comedy that's carried away. Patty has like this interesting innocence to his hilarity that I think is extremely interesting. You can only find that from Red Wing, Minnesota. Um, we walk into these dark stories, but it's because of the light that we're approaching it with, which I think adds an interesting harmony.
Well, thank you very much. LaRoyce Hawkins is on with us, and we are so excited to see what stories are going to unfold for us in the new season of Chicago PD. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and if you ever get back to Indianapolis, please look us up. We'd love to take you out, show you some of the local spots, and thank you so much for just being a part of our show today and bringing some positive vibes.
No, thank y'all for having me. I had a great time in Indianapolis, and if anybody's out there listening, I just want to say thank you to the whole city for just showing so much love. Had a great time in St. Elmo's, Agave on Ride, the Alexander Hotel. Y'all did y'all thing.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you hit St. Elmo. That's our place. All
Yes, ma'am. And
right.
I had the shrimp cocktail. Trust me,
Nice. How did
I'm
you do
still
with
feeling
it?
it.
You're still
I
feeling
did.
it?
I'm still feeling it in the back of my head.
Did they warn you about it? Because sometimes you go there with people and they're just like, "Oh, try the shrimp cocktail," and other times you at least get like, "Hey, heads up, it's going to be hot." What did you get any warning going in?
No, ma'am. We asked what makes them so famous, and we were told that we just had to try them and see. And by the time we got involved, we understood exactly what was going on.
I love it. All right, LaRoyce, have a great rest of your day, and thank you again so much for being here with
Yes,
us.
ma'am. You too.
Thanks for joining us for another celebrity interview. Of course, the KJ Today Show isn't just about talking to celebs, it's about hanging out with you. Join us live on Wednesday nights for pop culture, people to know, and pets. The KJ Today Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch live Wednesday nights at 7.